Welcome to the Geeko Gwenomiga News Podcast, the Micro News Podcast. I'm your host, Gwen. Sorry if you were expecting a tiny little lizard hawking insurance, but I'm a bit easier on the eyes. Welcome back to the Stacks. This week, Apple's brand new MacBook Neo. This is a really big deal. Not just for Apple fans, but for anyone who helps people make technology decisions, whether that's in a library, a school, or just as the tech-savvy person in your family. So here's the headline. Apple just released its most affordable laptop ever at $599, with an education price of $499. To put that in perspective, for years, the cheapest Mac you could buy was $999. They've basically cut the entry price in half. Let's start with the specs, because this is where things get interesting from a librarian's perspective. The MacBook Neo features a 13-inch Liquid Retina display, an aluminum design in 4 colors: blush, indigo, silver, and citrus. Powered by the A18 Pro chip. That chip choice is crucial. This isn't using Apple's M-series processors, like the MacBook Air or Pro. The Neo uses an A18 Pro chip, which is used in the iPhone 16 Pro, making it the first publicly available Mac with an A-series chip rather than an M-series. That's how they got the price down. They're using phone processors, not laptop. Does that matter? It depends on what you need to do. For everyday tasks, browsing, email, video calls, working on documents, the A18 Pro is more than capable. Early Geekbench tests show it actually outperforms the MacBook Air M1. But if you're doing heavy video editing or running professional creative software all day, you'll probably want something more powerful. Let's talk about what you're giving up at this price point. The base $599 model ships without Touch ID. Instead, it has a lock button. You need to upgrade to the $799 model with 512 gigabytes of storage to get the fingerprint scanner. That's a trade-off some people won't like. But honestly, if you're coming from a Chromebook or a budget Windows laptop, you're probably not expecting Touch ID anyway. The Neo has 2 USB-C ports, one running at USB 3 speed that supports displays, and one running at USB 2 speed, but they aren't marked, so you'll need to remember which is which. It also only supports one external 4K display at 60 Hz. So if you're someone who runs multiple monitors, this isn't your machine. But here's what matters. You get up to 16 hours of battery life, a 1080p FaceTime camera, dual microphones, and it runs the full macOS operating system, not a stripped-down version. From a librarian's perspective, this laptop is a game changer for 3 reasons. First, the education market. For years, schools have opted for low-cost Windows PCs and Chromebooks, but the Neo's $499 education price makes it a serious competitor. If you work in a school library or help educators make technology purchasing decisions, this opens up a whole new conversation. Students get a real Mac with access to professional software and the full macOS ecosystem at a price point that schools can actually afford. Second, digital equity. We talk a lot about the digital divide, and one barrier has always been that Macs were simply out of reach for many families. A $599 laptop that will genuinely last for years, with Apple's track record of software support, means more people can access the same tools and platforms. Third, the timing. This launch comes during a global memory shortage caused by AI data center build-out, and market research firm Gartner predicts PC shipments could fall 10.4% in 2026, with memory prices potentially forcing PC makers to eliminate their sub-$500 laptops by 2028. Apple is moving into this space exactly when their competitors might be forced to abandon it. Now, I want to be clear-eyed about this. Apple is still Apple. You're still buying into a closed ecosystem. You can't easily upgrade the memory or storage yourself. And while $599 is Apple's cheapest laptop ever, you can still get a Chromebook for $300 or a decent Windows laptop for $400. But here's what I keep coming back to: longevity and support. In libraries, we often see patrons struggling with budget laptops that become unusable after 2 or 3 years. Apple's track record is different. Their devices typically get software updates for 5 to 7 years, and the build quality means they physically last longer too. So, what's my recommendation? If you're helping someone choose their first laptop, or if you're working with students or patrons on a tight budget who want something that will last, the MacBook Neo deserves serious consideration. It's not perfect. The base model lacks Touch ID, the ports are limited, and it won't handle professional creative work as well as pricier Macs. But for everyday computing, educational use, and people who want to enter the Apple ecosystem without spending $1,000 or more, this is genuinely compelling. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, this is Geeko Gwen with the Mega News.
Tucked in her sleeve, tech-savvy twist you won't believe. Code and curves, watch her move. Brains and style, always smooth. She's the one you'll never catch. Click by click, she's unmatched. She